Hello. Oh, my voice is so messed up. All right, so let's get started. Is anyone on? Why is my bitrate through the roof? Hey, Manav. Um, let me reduce my bitrate so YouTube doesn't complain. 15,000. I had it set high for 2K streams, but the latency is too high, so I'm gonna reduce it down. So let's get started, I guess. This is my first time really trying Zig. I've heard a lot about it. I've while I've not written actual code, I've read a bunch of stuff, but I don't actually know the syntax. So I'm gonna like go through the official docs and see how difficult it's gonna be. This is coming from someone who's never written any low-level programming, right? So I've only ever I've only ever been good at JS and TS, right? So I've not written C, not C++ or Rust or anything like that. But I do enjoy reading a lot about them. So let's get started, I guess. So I have an install of Zig, but it's probably very outdated right now. So let me get a new version. Can I do Zig version? Yes, that's not a command. Okay, so that's probably very old. So I'm gonna get a new version. Direct downloads page. We want the binary from master. So I guess that's the one. Master, and it's at 64. Copy link. All right. That's a lot of files. Okay, so we're gonna move this to okay, let me delete the old folder. That should have worked. Yep, we have the latest version now. We'll also need to install ZLS, which is the Zig language server. So there should be a clone of this. Okay, let me pull the latest. And we want to, I guess it should be just that. And once we are done, just need to move it to somewhere that's in the path. Oh, do we need to config ZLS now? I do not remember needing to do that. Okay, but we'll try it. Well, that's happening. Let's look at the rest of the getting started page. Once we've installed it, recommended tools, syntax highlighters, that we should be good on that. We should. Next steps. Check out the other resources present in the learn section. And consider giving ziglearn.org okay, basics. I think this will do good. Okay, let's configure this. System-wide, I guess I should have started it with sudo. Actually, never mind. Not system-wide. VS Code. Yeah, sure. 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 Style warning, sure. Semantic highlighting, sure. Okay. Now let me get my VS Code. Nice art. I kind of wanted to wait for stage 2 compiler before I get started, simply because stage 1 doesn't let you use tabs. What's all that about? I think I should also have Zig installed. Is this the right one? Let me see. Oh. Should I install this from release? Is this the same thing as this? I think it is. Might actually not be. Okay, let me just get this. We'll figure out how to install from VSIX. Install from VSIX. Okay, I'll disable this one. Where's the one I installed? This is the one. So it's a different one from the one I already had, I guess. Okay. All right. So we have that. Just search ZLS in the extension. Anyway, we have it now, so it should be fine. We should be fine. So let's create a project. Let's call it Zig Hello. All right, and now I guess we want to do that. Cool. So that's generated a source folder. Okay. I think we need to set the path to ZLS. Did I previously install? Okay. Preferences. Can comment that out. Is this the right one? Let's see. Once you run zig build configure, okay, here it is. So this should be the right thing. Just gonna path zig language client dot path, and I'm gonna do home third party ZLS. What was the thing called? Zig out. Okay, now let me reload the window. Cannot start Zig language client. Why not? Oh, I must have messed up somewhere. Oh, it's slash bin. Slash bin slash. Okay. Now let me reload the window again. Okay, I guess it's working. Let's get rid of the test. We're not gonna write test. And please note that okay. Now let's go over the basics. So const stores an immutable variable and var stores an identifier, immutable value, very similar to TS. As performs an explicit type coercion, so that's compiler built in, I guess. What is the 5? Oh, 5 is the value and I32 is the type. Constant variables must have a value. If no known value can be given, the undefined value which coerces to any type may be used. Okay, makes sense. So you can't just declare without initialization. So if you do const a u32, for example, is that not an error? Can I do zig build and will it work? Must be initialized. Okay. I'm not getting any autocomplete apparently. So let's try that. Will it give me? I did enable warnings for unused variables, right? Yeah. Okay. Also get zig extension for highlight. Was it the thing that I just disabled? I guess it is that one. Wait, where's syntax? Cool. I guess that's the syntax highlight one. Okay. But wasn't it supposed to warn me if I do not use a variable? ZLS was supposed to do that. Okay. Arrays are denoted by brackets n, where n is the number of elements. Okay. For literals, you can also just do underscore and it'll just int for that. Okay, sounds good. And if I wanted to print that, I'm pretty sure there was something like format. Where is the string stuff? Expect to get occasional crashes. It's fine. Dino language server did that a lot already. I think it still does. Okay, so how do I format this string in my output? Is it just that? Is it, do I do dot a? I have no idea. Was that not in the first page? Let me just go through this. Slices, enums, structs, okay. Unions, floats, optionals, comp time. Maybe it's in one of the other chapters. Formatting specifiers. It's like, okay, that is fine, and I don't need this. Can I just do zig run? How do I make zig run? Use the, because there's only a build script in there. I'll just do main. Okay. Cannot format array without a specifier. So it needs a specifier. Oh, zig build run. Okay. BNOR binary and octal. ASCII character is C. What if we have multiple? Hold on. Can you just print arrays like that? S. Let's try it. Zig build run. Okay, that works. I would have expected that to be in the basics, but we went straight to arrays. Okay. Can you get instead of writing this, can you just write a string const c equal to hello world? Can you do that? And it's the exact same type as this thing, right? So it would still be an array of U8, I think. Let's try. Yeah, perfect. No warnings though for the unused variables. Okay. I'm not complaining. I don't want it to warn. Zig's if statement is simple. It only accepts a bool value. There's no concept of truthy or falsy. Okay. And okay, so the if is also an expression, so can return implicitly. Ziglings are better with getting started. Is that a site? Um, oh, do you just learn by doing it? That just links here. Oh, this project contains a series of tiny broken programs. By fixing them, you'll learn. So do I just clone that? Git clone. Okay, let's take a look. Exercises. This program is supposed to print hello world, but it needs our help. Needs your help. Zig functions are private by default, but the main function should be public. A function is declared public with the pub statement like so. But we didn't. Oh, it was pub here. Okay. Alright, so we just do that. And that should work. But it wants us to run Ziglings. Let's try Zig build. Okay, so the second program is an error right now. So the first one is fine. Zig run file edges, yes, I did that. But typically I think we want to follow the same build config that we have in build.zig, right? So that's why I asked how we can build and run. Apparently that's Zig build run. Okay, so this program is supposed to print a line. We forgot how to import okay. I'm pretty sure it's cons std. Okay. that's pretty easy. Making everything const u8. Okay. Foo cannot change, it is constant. Bar can change, it is variable. Okay. Foo cannot be negative and can hold 0 to 255. Okay, got it. Okay. Okay, so we want n to be reassignable right away. We can see that. What? Oh, it's var. Sorry. You can do Zig build as size number. Cool. Okay, so pi is a constant. -11 is a constant. So we should be fine. Let's try Zig build 3. Pi is huge, I guess. Is it? Cannot be quest. Okay. So let's try U16. I think. U16. This is six digits, which is less than. Let me actually read the error. Integer value cannot be coerced to U16. And why is that? U16 should be able to hold this number, right? Oh, this is only 5 digits. So let's do U32. Negative. I8. Could he even make this I4, right? Oh no, never mind. Okay, 004 arrays. Arrays are declared with var4. I'm gonna stumble into a lot of mistakes because this is my first time learning Zig. But once we get through, that is a lot of stuff. But we'll probably get through some of these, and then we'll try to write our own program today. Okay, so let's learn some array basics. U32. Okay. When Zig can infer the size of the array, you can just use underscore. Okay. Okay. Got it. This const is going to cause a problem later. Does const make the entire array immutable unlike in JS? So let's come back to that. Individual values can be set. Okay. Individual values can also be accessed. Okay. Problem 2. Looks like we need to complete this expression. Use the example above to set the fourth set fourth to the fourth element of the. So do we do 3? Use the len property to set the. Okay. Then we'll see what the error says. Cannot assign to const. Makes sense. So let's just make this var. Cool. Arrays 2. You can use ++ to concatenate arrays. That is handy. You can use double asterisk to repeat an array. Okay. I see. So both of these are after about 20 you should be comfortable. Okay. That's nice. Nice to know. So ++ and double asterisk can only work at compile time. So you cannot use this for runtime arrays. Okay. Unused variable. Now we are getting the errors. ZLS just decided to wake up. Please set this array concatenating the two arrays. So that should be 1337. Now that is being unused. Okay. Using repetition. So we want 1001 3 times. That should do it. Now it stopped complaining. Oh, because it is being used there. Okay. That's all of the problems. Let's see the results. So we could print these arrays with lead 0, 1. Okay. But let's have a little preview of Zig for loops instead. Okay. For lead n. Okay. So that's the syntax for n of lead, I guess. std debug print. Okay. And bits. So it's printing one of each, one at a time. Cool. So let's go to sits. Now that we've learned about arrays, we can talk about strings. In high-level languages, this is usually the other way around. We learn strings first and then we go to arrays. But I have learned C, the very basics of C, like 12 years ago now. So it was in my school. So I do know that strings are typically stored as arrays. We've already seen Zig string literals. Okay. Strings as arrays of bytes. Got it. Got it. We'll see what Zig strings really are in SI77. Holy fuck. Okay. Notice how individual characters use single quotes and strings use double quotes. These are not interchangeable. Okay. And if I use double quotes for a single string, single character, that's going to make it a string anyway, right? It's going to be an array of a single character. Got it. Problem 1. Use array square bracket syntax to get the letter D from the string stardust. So we want 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Array repeat operator. So this should be the 3 times. Concatenate operator to make major tom. Okay. We'll need to add a space. I guess I should be able to do that. That's all the problems. Keen eyes will notice that we've put a U and a S inside. Yes. So U is UTF-8 character and S is UTF-8 string. If we didn't do this, then we just see 100. Got it. C, ASCII encoded character. Okay, got it. Makes sense. Sits. Got it. 7. Strings 2. Zig has multi-line strings. To make a multi-line string, put a double slash at the beginning of each line. Got it. So that's it. 7. Huh. Well, I guess there's no space. Cool. 8. This is really cool. I'm glad you mentioned Ziglings. I prefer this much, better than Ziglon. I guess I can still go over this once I have completed this. See if there's anything I've missed. Quiz time. Let's see if we can fix this whole program. We'll have to think about this one a bit. Let the compiler tell you what's wrong. Okay, start at the top. What is this nonsense? Letters. What is usize? Usize is an unsigned integer type used for sizes. Exact size of usize depends on the target CPU architecture. We could have used a U8 here, but usize is the idiomatic type for array indexing. Okay. There is a problem on this line, but usize isn't it. Note, when you want to declare memory, an array in this case, without putting anything in it, you can set it to undefined. There's no problem on this line. I see. So undefined can just cast to an array here. Undefined, because undefined casts to any type. The following lines attempt to put Zig into the lang array we just created. By indexing the array letters with the variable x. As you can see above, x equal to 1 to begin with. I guess we want 1, 3 and 5. 1, 3 and this should be 5. Lang 1. This should be x. That was supposed to be another error, but cannot. Right. That was the problem. because we are assigning to it here. Okay, got it. Now we get into the fun stuff, starting with the if statement. If true, else. Okay. Double equals, less than, greater than. Is there not less than or equal to? Okay. I guess we could combine them with an and if it's this condition. Okay. Next. Let me give this a star. Alright, if statements are also valid expressions, so we want to say if discount is true, the price should be 17. If discount 17, else 20. That should be it. While statements create a loop, remember that the condition must be a Boolean value and that we can get a Boolean value from conditional operators. Got it? And true until n reaches, okay, n not equal to 1024. Yep. Cool. While statements can have an optional continue expression, which runs every time the while loop continues. Oh. What is the purpose of this? Oh. What? But why couldn't you? I guess you could have it at the end of the while loop, but then if you have a manual continue, you'd have to repeat it. So this probably gets rid of that, double logic. So we want to say while n is less than. Zig doesn't have numeric for loops. Oh, got it. So while is your numeric for loop. I see. So in theory, you could skip this and just do n plus equal to. Is that a thing? Yeah, you could do that, but that wouldn't work. If you had a continue statement, so you'd have to repeat that, and you don't have a while loop, so this would take the place of that. Got it. Set the continue expression so that we get the desired results in the print statement below. We want this to result in 1024. Okay. N is currently 2. And we loop until n is less than 1000. So I guess we could just do keep multiplying it by 2. Or I guess you can multiply it by 512. Will that work? Okay, that doesn't work. Expected array type. Oh, I meant to do that, I guess. we got the result, but it wants us to print 2468. I took the shorter route. Okay. While 3. Last two exercises are functionally identical. Continue expressions really show their utility when used with a continuous statement. Got it. If other condition, continue. Okay. I want to print every number between 1 and 20 that is not divisible by 3 or 5. So we just want to replace these with continue. 13, 14. You can force it to exit immediately with a break statement. Okay, when do we want to break this? We want n equal to 4. N greater than or n equal to 4 break. Oh, I'm too used to JS. Got it. Behold the for loop. We don't have numerical for loop, so we just have, for each item in the array. So I guess we do story and scene. So for happy scenes, we want to print happy face, sad. I guess that's neutral. A dramatic story. Indeed. For 2. For loops also let you store the index of the iteration. That's nice. Very handy. This is what I'm missing from JS for loops. Very dramatic indeed. JS for of loops really need this feature where we get indents. Just for the sake of index, we are forced to use a traditional for loop. You can name item and index anything you want. I use a popular shortening. Okay. What do we want here? Let's store the bits of little endian order, least significant byte first. Okay. Now we'll convert the binary bits to a number value by adding the value of the place. Okay. The missing piece. Note that we convert the U size I to a U32 with an int cast. So this would just be I, because that's what's being used here. And the value of this position, whatever position we are iterating, is the power of 2 raised to the value. Yeah. To raise to the the position into the bit. Okay. So 17. Famous fizz buzz. Players take turns to count incrementally, replacing any number divisible by 3 with the word fizz, any number divisible by 5 with the word buzz. And I think if it's both, it would want fizz buzz, right? So what kind of loop is this, a for or a while? This should be a while. And you want to import the Zig standard library at import. I've forgotten. That is it, I guess. And this needs to be pub function. What is it? We want to print the number itself, right? So that should be it. Perfect. First try. Functions. We've already created lots of functions called main. Now let's do something different, where function foo takes a number and returns the number that is larger by 1. So it's basically an increment. In input and return are both U8. Deep thought should return, so U8. Just missing a couple things. Not missing is the keyword pub. It is not needed here because it's not public. 18, 19, takes a parameter. Okay. We want to accept my number, and since it wants to power with U32, should probably accept U32. Does it work if I just do U8, because 2 to the 1, 2, 3 are all U8? Yeah, that works. Alright, let's see if we can make use of some of the things we've learned so far. One that contains a for loop and one contains a while loop. You won't see this every day. A function that takes an array with exactly 4 U16. This is not how you would normally pass an array to a function. We'll learn about slices and pointers in a little while. Okay. This function prints but doesn't return anything. So this should be a for, and this should be a while. First thing. This does the math without the aid of standard library. Okay. And it's supposed to return total, which is a U16. And this does not return anything. So can I just leave it blank? Do I have to do void? Okay. Okay. Past the 20. We're getting into errors. I think these are the interesting bits. Errors. Comp time. They're all pretty interesting. How far do we go before we start our own thing? And then we can come back to this anytime later. I feel like this is all pretty important. Okay, why is... Okay, the stream is back. OBS kind of just disconnected for a bit. Okay. Believe it or not, sometimes things go wrong in programs. Really? Okay. In Zig, an error is a value. Errors are named so we can identify things that can go wrong. Errors are created in error sets. So just a collection of named errors. We have the start of an error set, but we are missing the condition too small. Please add it where it is needed. Let's do too small. So that's an error set. He just said hell. Hello Alok, welcome to the Zig stream. We're just going over some exercises to get us started. This repo is called Ziglings, which is pretty good. Okay, so we've created an error set, and that's my number error. Okay, and now we want to say if number error equals my number error too small, then print that. And this function returns an error. And this one is free. Okay. Let's run the test. 21, 22. Common case for errors is a situation where we are expecting to have a value or something has gone wrong. So get text cannot find foo.text. I think you should be able to follow Ziglearn now. Cool. Let's just get through the errors, I guess. Okay, let me just do this one. Zig lets us make what's called an error union, which is a value which could either be a regular value or an error from a set. I see. So there's so it could be an error or it could be text. Okay. My number will need to store. Okay, so we'll do my number error, or it could be U8 22. Let's have a look at this again. We've done functions, we've done for loops, we've done while loops. Errors, what is that? Okay, that's just an error union. It's just written inline. Okay, so that's just written inline. So this function can return that error or void. Error differ works like differ, but only with only executing when the function is returned from with an error inside of the error differs block. Okay. Failing function. Okay, so when this function errors, error differ runs is what I understand. Error unions returned from a function can have their error set inferred. So you just do, okay, got it. They can be merged by doing A or B. Switch. Ooh, that's a fancy switch. The types on all branches must coerce to the type which is being switched upon. So it has to be exhaustive. Else is the default branch, I guess. Values cannot be left out. Cases cannot fall through. Got it. An example of a switch statement. So if it's if it's between -1 and 1, it's is that inclusive or exclusive? It has to be inclusive, right? And I assume double dot is going to be exclusive. You miss differ. Differ I kind of understand. It runs when the function exits. One thing I do not know is whether defer will still run if the function returns an error. But I guess we can try that later. Okay, runtime safety. Safety can be left on or turned off. So-called detectable illegal behavior cause a panic. So if you try to access index 5 from an array of array of length 3, it causes a panic. Said, oh, you can set runtime safety per block. That is interesting. Unreachable is an assertion to the compiler that the statement will not be reached. Okay, so we are telling the compiler that x will be equal to 2, but it isn't, so it must panic. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Again, we don't want to do anything here because x is going to be either lowercase a to z or uppercase a to z, and if not, we just want to do unreachable. Got it? Oh, that's an interesting way. Because they are just ints, right, under the hood. So you can just add and subtract characters. So we want to add plus a and subtract minus a, which is the difference between the lowercase letters and the uppercase letters in ASCII. Okay, pointers. Normal pointers aren't allowed to have 0 or null. They follow the syntax *t. Dereferencing is done with @. Oh, referencing is done with variable, and dereferencing is done with variable dot asterisk. So here, variable would be a pointer, I guess, and when you dereference, you get the value at that pointer, and when you reference this pointer, you when you reference this variable, you get the pointer to it. Okay, that's an asterisk. So that's we're declaring a pointer. Y is a pointer, and we're doing into pointer. Trying to set to the value 0 is detectably illegal. Oh, because h is 0. So we're trying to convert h into a pointer. Got it. Zig also has const pointers, which cannot be used to modify the reference data. Referencing a const variable will yield a const pointer. I see. That is pretty cool. So even if you reference the pointer to a const variable, you still cannot modify the data held by that address. Pointer sized integers. U size and I size are given as unsigned and signed integers, which are the same size as pointers. But what is the size? Oh, it's what does try actually do? Does it imply else unreachable or catch unreachable if you just leave it at try? I think we need to go back to our test thing so we can find out. Let's do zig build run. Expect we want it from, is it from std? Let's check the language reference. Oh, I guess expect can only be used inside of test. That makes sense. Let's see. Zig test. std.testing. How do you? I guess you just do dot expect. I guess you just do that. Yeah, that works. So we should be able to put this in there. Yeah. So now let's try doing std. Oh, I wanted to know what happens when what if I do u16? That's still fine because it's a size of a pointer. What if I do that? Okay. Unexpected result. Okay. Okay, this is a panic, right? So should catch unreachable. Does this work identically? Well, that works differently. Expected error union type found void. Yeah, I think the stream is a little bit lagging behind. Not that much. It's only a couple seconds back, I think. I have changed it to std testing expect. Having catch unreachable. Expected error union type found void. Huh? We can return any error or void. What does it mean by this? You don't have to retract the message. It's fine. We're just trying to be helpful. Interesting. So let me do std dot what was it to print? Debug.log, and I want to do that. Uh, oh, it's print. Okay. So the size of U size is really just 8. So U8 and I8. Okay. Many item pointers. Sometimes you may have a pointer to an unknown number of elements. Okay. The solution. But it's suppose indexing, pointer arithmetic, and slicing. Unlike asterisk t, it cannot point to a type which does not have a known size. This coerces to this? Explicitly or implicitly? So let's do const a's, or let's do var a's 5. And okay. And we do that. Why is it unknown? That should be U size, right? Okay. And var c okay. So this is fine. Okay. If you say so. Slices. Slices can be thought of as a pair of a many item pointer and a U size, the element count. Got it. The syntax is given as okay, brackets t. Slices are used heavily. Oh, why does my OBS keep disconnecting? Okay. So how do you make a slice? You make a slice by doing 0, 2, 3. Is this inclusive? Let's check it out. Let's do std debug print. Okay. Let's do I want to asterisk. What happens if I do that? Just prints garbage. What if I do D? How do I print an array? We did that on this thing. If I in Ziglings, we did not have to declare a specific format type. Let's check. Okay, this is printing character by character strings. S is fine. S will convert this to a string, which we don't actually want. It will probably print garbage again. Yeah, I don't think there's any printable characters in the first 5. How do I do? User size should be 64. But that size of should say the size of the type, right? Why is it all going to Zig language reference? Okay, let's see. See what it was? Oh, we wanted the identifier, right? Format. What was it called? Let's go to chapter 2. Formatting specifiers. We cannot do D because it's an array. We cannot do C because it's not a single character. Oh, asterisk does pointer formatting. Okay, that was the wrong thing to use. So can you just not print an array of numbers, an array of U8, without actually looping through it? Oh, not an array, a slice. We want to print a slice. I guess not. For slice item, can I do this? 1, 2, 3. Okay, at least we can do that. We can also do that with arrays. But I mean, a slice is a many item array, many item pointer plus a U size, which is the length of the slice. Isn't an array the same thing? An array really is a pointer to many things and the length. Wouldn't it be the same? What I actually wanted to find out here was whether dot dot was inclusive or exclusive. It is exclusive because index 3 is 4 and that was not included. So can I do dot dot dot? That is not a thing. Okay. So how do I make a full copy? Can I skip that? You can. What happens if I do that? You can't do that. That could have been a neat shorthand. Okay. Can I do that? 4, 5. Got it. Oh, that's just described here. Why do some parts of the language have allow inclusive ranges and some don't? Like I saw in the switch condition we definitely had okay, this example doesn't show it, inclusive ranges. Now I want to test this because can I have non-exclusive switch? So let's see, what is this? I don't really care about that. Can I just assign the return to var y? Why can't I do that? That doesn't fit it. Unused variable. Okay, let's try. Void. Because 10 doesn't actually return anything. Expression value is ignored. Why is it ignored? Can I return? Expected type void. I guess I can't do unions. Can I just do I8 or void? I guess not. So let's say 5, and that would also need to return its. Why does it expect type void? How do I make it not expect type void? Switch can return, right? But only implicitly. Oh, I guess it's trying to return out of the whole thing. So that is a no. We don't want to do that. Can this expression is ignored? How do I make it return? So does this work? Okay, that does become void. I know that's TypeScript, but like Zig is just so close. Is it not possible to? It must be possible to return from a switch branch. So how do you do that? Let's check. Switch. So here there is an assignment. So this gets 0, this gets 1. Blocks can be arbitrarily complex. What is that? Switching on arbitrary expressions is allowed as long as the expression is known at compile time. I have no idea what that expression is. ZZ is the expression. It needs to evaluate something. It says it's 103. This 103 just returns 103. Okay. What is this then? BLK. So this whole thing is an expression where same thing here. Do I need to do an explicit break? Is that it? break is fish now outside loop. But this isn't inside a loop either. What is this? I have no idea what that is, but I'm gonna copy it and see what happens. Is that how we do it? Okay. What was the result we want? Y. This is 10. Divide exact. Okay. Let's not do that. So we should get 10. We do get 10. What if I do this? Now these statements must be conflicting. Duplicate switch. Okay. But if I do this, it's not doesn't allow it. Why is it like that? It allows inclusive ranges in some places. It only allows inclusive ranges in switch, but only allows exclusive range in slices, right? I think so. Okay. Enums are okay. That's very similar. Enums may have specified integer tag types, so it can be u2. What if I try to do u2 and give it more than 3 items? Will it complain? Should that not be an issue? Let's see what happens. Okay. Too large. Makes sense. So it's a runtime error. It cannot catch this at compile time. Now this should be fine. H.4. Oh, okay. It actually prints H.4. Unless, what if I do D? Interesting. Why does it print H.4? It should either complain about it or it just prints it for whatever. It's the same thing. Okay. If you say so, Zig. Or you can do enum to int. Let's try that. Okay. I guess that works. All right. Structs. Yeah, we're getting to the fun part. So struct, I think that's fairly easy to understand. And that's how you initialize one. Okay, got it. Structs can also have functions. And it can access the instance using self, I guess. Self has to be a pointer to the struct. Okay. And I think this is this is technically a dereference because the self is a pointer. So I remember, I remember uh, Thomas telling me that this is a shorthand for that, and so this should technically work. Let's see if it does. Let's see. Aspect const aspect is std dot, what was it, testing dot aspect. It does work. So this is a dereference. Got it. Makes sense. Oh, automatic dereference. That's what it was. That's what they were talking about. Okay. Zig unions. Unions allow you to define types which store one of many possible typed fields. Only one field may be active at a time. So this is basically a tagged union. Okay. Can we int, float, or bool? And let's see. So let's say we have the struct, right? And we do that. If how do I check for why is each of them twice? How do I check that? Because there can only be a true or false in here. So there must be a compiler built in which says, which converts, like exists, and this is not null. How do you do a null check? Or do I just do not equal to null? And if I do cons log std print I wish it would just add the semicolons where it needs it. Comparison of F64 with null. What if I do like that? No. We want to check which of the unions exists. How do I check? Tagged unions are unions which use an enum to detect which field is active. Here we make use of payload capturing again to switch. You can use switch. Let's do switch result. Oh, this needs a union tag. What? Why can't do this automatically? I guess this would actually need to be int float bool. And we want to say if int else not float. Test, I guess, is a reserved word. And we want a semicolon there. Okay. Cannot format slice without a specifier. Okay, so we want S. Okay, that works. But why can't it just infer the tags from the... What if I pass something completely unrelated? What happens now? Enum field not found. So you necessarily have to repeat the same things here. So why can't you just infer the tag? Can it do that? Oh, you just... Okay. Okay. Okay, Zig. I don't know why that's even necessary, because is there any case where you can declare a tag and the union has less? I don't think so, right? So you can't do int float. You can? I guess it just needs to be... I guess it cannot declare things that are still fine. Oh, I've not edited this. Maybe we should go back to Ziglings. Okay. There is no way for us to not have all three here and all three here. So I don't see why you would ever need to declare tag explicitly and not just let it infer with enums. I'm getting a hang of this, so it's not a big deal. What is a wrapping operator? Okay. Integer widening is allowed. Got it. Integer rules. Underscores. Very cool. If you have a value stored in an integer that cannot be coerced. Okay. I see. So U64, when you try to cast it to U8, if the value is actually be able to cast, it will cast it. Otherwise, it's a panic in safe release modes. We're not allowed to overflow. So there are overflow operators. Well-defined overflow. I see. So anytime you want to let it overflow, you add a percentage to the operator. Floats. What does optimize do? Assume the arguments and result are not NaN. Optimizations are required to retain defined behavior over nonce. Okay. We don't really need that. I guess what we'll do now is just start with my little program and see how far we get before we get stuck. So let's okay. I okay. Make there C. So let's do Zig and ZLS and have a look at build.zig. I think this should be mostly fine. Let's just get here and have the language reference open. We want the std lib. Okay, so now we want fs. Yeah, and I should tell you what I'm trying to do. So I often try to do ls build.zig, which just prints the the one result. That's not what I'm trying to do. I was trying to do cat build.zig. So I kind of confuse ls and cat sometimes when I'm working really fast. So I want a small command line thing that I just do c build.zig, and if it's a folder, it prints the items in the folder, and if it's a file, it just prints the contents of the file. So let's see how we can do that. So we have under fs is there no open file absolute? What's absolute? Oh, path is absolute. Open there. Okay, so we want stat first, right? Access. Access just it just tests it. CWD, we'll need that. Okay. Delete file, make there, open file absolute C. Open file absolute, open there absolute, real path. Okay. Let's search. There we are. It's under file. To do integrate with async IO. Okay. We don't need async right now. Let's see. Const file is std.fs.file, and if I remember this, structs. So we want const what is missing here? Do we not need to pass anything? Handle. I remember Thomas sent me a link where to explore STD better. What is that? I think you should also open path to Zig. Okay. Actually, he sent me this, which is supposed to make it easier. FS file. No, that's not what I wanted to do. That is not what I wanted to do either. Doesn't it do something? Hey Amog, welcome to the stream. I thought this was supposed to give us a nice to see thing. Browser Zig. I think this is it. fs.zig, and we do file. So file is a struct that takes handle. Maybe file is being returned by something. Typically I would expect something like fs.open. We don't have any open here. Let's see. It's there. Function open. There it is. But we wanted start, right? Okay. Public function start. But this is inside. What is this inside of? Let's see if we have stat. We don't. How do I do this with just a path? File struct takes a handle. To get a handle we need to open, and to open we need, what do we need? We need an open method, which is actually in where is it? Function open file. It's inside there. Both stat and stat file. Are also in there. So how do we get there? normally normally we do like stat that, and we can figure out that this is a file and not a directory, and I want to do that. I guess let's get cons st.fs cwd, and by default, before we get into accepting parameters, cwd would be the default way to get it. So let's see what happens if I do that. I guess it should be string. Zig build run. That gives us a dir actually. Interesting. Can I start this? What if I do that? Unreachable. Why is it unreachable? Start only takes self, which is CW itself. So why does it do that? Always a race condition. Runs the code again in case it's not reachable. A man can hope. Bad file. Can you not start a directory? You can start a directory, and CWD has to be a directory. What was the error again? That has to be a bad file, right? Self.handle. However, self.handle was -100, which I'm not sure is a valid file handle. Can file handles be negative? Oh. Oh, we needed to try. Okay. I guess it should also do that. Expected error union type found. Okay, so that shouldn't be try. That still does the same thing. if I do open there, just leave that empty. Let's see what happens. Expected 3 arguments. One is self, I guess. The other is open dir options. What if I just do empty? Huh. Oh, I need to do a try here so that the error union gets unwrapped. Okay, now it's able to start. Mm-hmm. Do you always need to open before you can start? I guess so, right? That makes sense because you need the inode, the file handle to do the start. Okay. So by default, we want to print. What does stat return? Okay, we want to switch st. I'm just gonna call it stat. Dot kind stdfs file dot kind directory. Can I do this? File const ets. Let's try printing ets. Okay, that did. Oh, we want nails. Cannot store runtime value in comtime. Why not? If you can do it the first 2 times. What if I do U8? Oh. Okay. Let's do. Can I just do that? Not there. We want to open fire. So yeah. Why did that become comp time? I'm not sure. So we cannot open without knowing if it's a file or directory. But how do we figure out if it's a file or directory? Let's go through the this thing. Where is it? Chapter 2. this is all useful. Readers and editors are useful, but how do I do? I need to start without actually opening it as a file or directory. Ultra low latency mode has some artifacting issues when scrolling. Yeah, maybe it is that. I'm trying to see it on my preview. Yeah, it's probably that. But it should be fine. Right? It's not a big deal. What is a big deal is trying to start without open file or open tab. Is there just no open? What is make open path? Oh, it makes and open. Okay, that's not what we wanted. Start doesn't take any arguments. It's supposed to just start the current working directory, I guess. Like that. Where does it? IntelliSense just breaks down very often. Expected union type. Okay, that's why. Stat. It does have that. And there we go. What if I just pass it anyway? Expected one arguments, which is the self. What does this even exist if you can't call it? You're probably doing something wrong. Can I pass something to this? No. If the CW is CWD, is there so we can do open dir absolute, and from CWD would be the non-absolute. So how did they do? They had is path start is absolute. So we can do const path fs path. Okay. So we can do like instead of accepting the input, let's just declare the input for now. Where's the okay? So let's say the build.zig, right? If input path dot is absolute input, we want to do one thing, which is const let file undefined, sorry, var, and let's say file equals since this is absolute, we do fs dot open file absolute, and we pass the input. Open file absolute, why can't I open file absolute, open flags? We don't actually need to pass anything. Else file is fs.cwd dot open file input. And now let's try that. Cannot. Okay, so we need to correctly add or try two because it's a file. Okay, now we need to figure out if it's a file or a directory before we can continue. Zig check if path is file or directory. No examples. How does this look in C? C++? The heck, Python? Is there path.is file? I don't expect it to have that. It should be fs.is fs dot something. I guess we also want to do defer file dot close. In either case, since we've opened the file, we want to close it when the scope ends. I'm just checking what people do in other languages, because in JS it's too simple. Do we have fs.file? It's this. So I guess we need to try to open it as both a file and a directory. And that's how we know. Actually, we need to try to open it as a directory first, and if that fails, then we try to open it as a file. But start would be so much simpler though. Was my entire life a lie? Can you not start a directory according to this? Okay, this is in C, so it should be similar. Delay feels super high. It's about 5 seconds. It is actually pretty high. Your previous message didn't go through. I'm not sure. If you send the same message twice, YouTube sometimes does that. Okay, I cannot find another way, so we are going with this. We're just gonna try and open it as a directory. If not, then we if that errors, then we open it as a what? As a file. What does this actually return? Can I do switch file? Oh, It won't let you send links. File dot start. That only does it after opening the file. So it's the same thing. Can we do catch fs.open there absolute input that would need a try of its own, and file would be I don't know what file actually will be. Let's try printing it. What will happen? File incompatible types. Yes, that's what I expected. So let's go back to this. Sorry, chapter 1, errors. How do you catch an error and do something else? I guess you can do like that. Found an if. Let's do like where there find let's do it like that, and then we can do there equals. Okay. If file not equal to null, can I do that? If there not equal to null, defer there dot close. Can I do that? That might work. Can I do else if? Okay. What's the current state of this program? Incompatible types. Okay. Can I do that? want. Oh. Is that actually allowed? Okay. Can I just try the regular way? What is this? Does that work? Oh. I don't know where that went. Okay. So we can't do that. Maybe I should go back to what was that? Ziglings. Where did I put Ziglings? Oh, it's here. Let's put this back and let's do some more of Ziglings. And maybe by the end of this, I'll actually be able to do that. All right, so we should be on 23. Okay. So please provide the return type from this function. It will be an error union. My number error. Or U8. Oh, it should be that. Oh, something here. Catch. $23. Oh, it's U32. Okay. Let's do the next one. Using catch to replace an error. So since it doesn't matter what the error is, catch lets us catch the error value and perform additional actions with this form. This is missing a lot, but don't worry, it's nearly identical to if it's too big. If we get a too small error, we should return 10. If we get any other error, we should return that error. So let's do catch and accept the error. If error equals my number error, too small error, return 10. If not, return error. Okay, so the shorthand for this is just try. Would these also need that? Or these just do catch 0? Okay, 25, 26. That uses the system standard as standard out resource, which can fail. Okay, take note that this main function now returns Zig will infer the error type. So this is a shorthand for any error. We get a writer for std out, so we can print to it. Unlike std debug print, the std out can fail with an error. Don't care what the error is, we just want to be able to pass it up as a return value of main. We just learned of a single statement which can accomplish this. Sets. You can assign some code to run after a block of code exits by deferring it. Please add a defer statement to this code. Okay. You're watching muted now. $28. Oh wait, what? Now that you know how differ works, let's do something more interesting with it. He needs sound. I just typed it. Stream to, you get it. Or I get used to it by the time I finish Ziglings. This function is supposed to print an animal name in parentheses like goat, but we somehow need to print the n parentheses, even though this function can return in 4 different places. So we just do defer here, right? $29. Another common problem is a block of code that could exit in multiple places due to an error, but that needs to do something before it exits to clean up. Error defer is a defer that only runs if the error block exits with an error. The cleanup function is called only if the try statement returns an error produced by can fail. Okay. Please make the failed message print only if the make number function exits with an error. So we just need error defer. $29. Switch statements lets you match possible values. Okay, we don't need anything in between. Exhaustive. Else std debug print question mark when C is not one of the matches. I think that's it. Okay. It needs 2 arguments. $31. What's really nice is that you can use a switch statement to return a value. Cool. In this case, we want else to return an exclamation mark. If you remove the C, it's going to print it as an int. So we want C. 32. Zig has an unreachable statement. Use it whenever. Perfect. Now you have sound. So basically, what the issue was I need to figure out if the path is a file or a directory. So I can't do this where I try to open it as a file and catch and open it as a directory, because now this returns void and that's not a valid value for file. What if I just do this? What if I just do that? Redeclaration. Filettes. Incompatible types. So that's what happens. Void and file are not compatible types, so they cannot both be assigned to filettes. So I'm not sure what to do there. Maybe I just want to catch and ignore. Catch and just do nothing. That's not possible. I can't do catch unreachable because that would panic. I can't do catch in just that, can I? No, because void is not compatible with file. So I need the equivalent of this, basically. Just catch and ignore. This would cause it to panic when it would cause it to error when try fails. But this is essentially what I want to do. Meanwhile, let's look at this. Search for docs for handle all error scenarios. This is the reference. Oh. Interesting. So do I do just where did it go? If pass whatever, we don't care about this thing. So let's just do if true, do something with number. Why? I guess this should go there. This should go there, and we get file f, and we just do f. Else error. We don't actually care about the error here, at least not yet. There equal to try. I think this is what we want, right? Let's try. Expected optional type. Yeah, that wouldn't work because this is a error union. It's not an optional, so it can't be put in an if error union. Oh, you can do that, but why doesn't it work here? Do I need to accept the error? Unused capture. What if I just do that? Comparison of file with null. Oh, I think it works. Now it's the error is here, but we can work with that. Yeah, I just realized. Oh, hold on. But okay, it's not absolute, it's relative, so we need to do this again here, but with fs dot cwd dot open there, and we can now do this. Okay, perfect. So we can get rid of this and this. Now I need to. I want to just instead of writing differ 4 times, I just want to write it here. Oh, I can just do. Okay. I realize you can't do not equals null. You can't do that either. So file can be undefined or it can be a file. Right? It could be assigned in some places. You need it to be optional. Let me try that. Nope. How do optionals work? I'm pretty sure you have to. Pretty sure you have to assign undefined if you're not going to assign it right away. Equal to null. Oh, okay. So this is like. Now we can do the not equals null check. Not equals null. If it's not equals null, then it should be able to close. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Sorry, we didn't get away from having both null and undefined here either. But at least undefined has a different behavior, right? It's basically uninitialized. But how do I need to unwrap the optional. How do I unwrap the optional? Do I do like that? I don't think so. What? Defer if file f. Let's look at this. This does not need an else. Well, I guess that makes sense. So you can just leave a defer by itself. You can't. Can you read? You can do that. Is this valid? You can't. Can you do defer null? You can't. If true. If false. Null. You can. Yes, I was just trying to figure out what is allowed. All right, so we've got that figured out. Okay, let's see now. To recap, we have an input file, input path, and we check if it's absolute. If it is absolute, we use open file absolute. If that errors, we try open dir absolute, and if that errors, we give up. If it is not absolute, we do cwd dot. We can I can actually do this. We can actually move this up here. Actually, we don't know if we need it yet, so const cwd is that. Now I can replace all three of these with cwd, so we don't call the function 3 times. Zig might optimize it away, I'm not sure, but might as well, right? It's fewer characters for right. So cwd dot open file. If it's not absolute, it's relative. We try open file. If that errors, then we try open dir relative, and if that errors, we give up. And if either of those things happened, then we come here and we check if it was a file. If it was a file that was opened, we do file.close. If else, we do dir.close. Okay. So now we don't need all this because we kind of know that. Actually, I can do this. Else. Can I do else unreachable? Is that then I can move this here. Is this valid? Oh, I don't need this anymore. Unexpected type. Need var here. Can you do var? No, you can't. For CWD. Why though? We are not assigning to it. We're not modifying it, or are we? We aren't. I don't think it's the CWD. It's the dir. I think it's the unwrap. No, I think it's the unwrap, right? So the F here is const, I think. Cast discards const qualifier. And this is only a problem with dir. It's not a problem with file. Asterisk F. Why doesn't it need it for F and only for D? Okay, whatever Zig, whatever you want. I guess this else is not even needed because we just Zig wants it. Okay. F dot close must not mutate F, but D dot close mutates D. Oh, you mean file close does not mutate the file for somehow, but D dot close does? That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever Zig wants. Now, there was that file system. So now we can try this. So now we want a read all buffer, so something like that. I'm just gonna copy that. Unused, okay. Maybe I should reconfigure ZLS to not complain on. I guess back to Ziglings. I'll try to do this myself. If I can't, then we're back to Ziglings. So buffer is 100 U8, which is good. And we try to do, we can get rid of this. Wait, where are we? Oh shit. Yeah, I meant to paste that here. Okay. And now we want to keep do this in a loop, right? Hold on, what is byte thread? It returns usize, right? So can make this usize equal to undefined, and then we do while bytes thread. I guess we need to do that once. While bytes thread has some value, we want to do we want std out, right? So let's get std out, and we do try. So let's see now. So defer file.close, and then we do var buffer whatever, and we do seek to 0. I think that should be default. F, not file. And then we read all once, and we can do this. And get rid of that. Let's see what happens. While bytes loaded not equal to 0. Ooh. Oh. It did something. And then it didn't. Let's see where it stopped. Test underscore step. So it stopped there. That's definitely more than 100. And it did not error. So this is the continue condition. So the first time we do it by we do it ourselves, and then we check that byte thread is not 0, and then we go to and once we do this, and then we go to the continue condition and try to read more, and once we've read more, we try to print again, and then we try to read more. So this should work in theory. Okay, let's see here. Okay, never mind. Oh, maybe we can do like, oh, can we do close and any type, and then we just do, oh no, we actually can't do that. What I was going to do is fn reprint all. And now we can generalize that. We can actually move this to here, and f becomes reader, and then std out we can move it here. Oh, actually, maybe we might not be able to call that there. So let's just do it here, I guess. And then we can just do print all f. So let's do that. We want to try here. Okay, so that does the same thing. So now that we have that, let's try to figure out why debug print let's try to figure out why that would be 0. It's 100 let's do it like that. Okay, so it was 83 there. For some reason Zig decided to not read the rest. Probably something I've done wrong though. Let's see. Where do we go wrong? What if we do less than 0? Huh? I can't stop it fast enough to see what's happening. It's just too fast, man. Let's add iters equal to 0. Iters less than 10, 20. Can't do that apparently. I'll just do it here. Iter should be U8. Okay. Oh, the last time it's read something, it doesn't actually. Okay. It does read the whole thing, right? But it doesn't actually print it. This would happen at the end of the, like, once it's going to continue, this happens, like, so at the end of the block, and then we check that byte thread is not equal to 0, which shouldn't be 0, it should be 83. So it should try to print, and then it reads again, and then it sees 0. That is how it should happen. But this is a way to make it print. Nope. Just repeated the last thing. Build tested depend on. So it what is this? Is that something we've left somewhere else? Is there a print anywhere else? No. Actually, we've done printing, and then we print once more. Okay, so we are not printing one less time, we are actually printing one more time. So let's get rid of this and just do it the normal way. No, still the same thing. If I make this true, if break this is equal to 0 break. Oh, I see. The buffer doesn't actually, okay. Oh, this makes sense. The buffer doesn't actually empty every time we read something into it. So we want to empty the buffer. that took me some time to understand. So basically, it's written 1 2 3 4 whatever, right? And the last time it's only writing the first few bytes, and the last few bytes are the same as the time it wrote before. So that's why it does that, because got it. So basically this part is the ending of the previous time it had something in its buffer, right? So this part, and then this is only the 83 characters. Got it. So we want to empty the buffer. How do we do that? We can do 0. We can do that. Is that what we should do? Expected type, found comp diamond. Can I do that? What if I incast it? What if I do that? It works. It works. I guess that's how you empty a buffer in Zig. And now we want to do this for directories. So let's do this. And it should have exited without error. Let's go. Why does it go to print all? That's only if it's a file. Why would there be a file? What if I remove the slash? Nope. Error is there. So I think it's erroring before it gets to the is there part. Where in the error trace is the call site? I cannot see my code here. How is it here? Try print all. How did it get to that spot though? It shouldn't. Let's do std debug print. And we want to say file. Okay. Why the heck is there a file here? Hold on. What is this? The heck? Oh. Can you pass CWD to it? Would it just work for both input? For both absolute and relative? Actually, I'm not worried about that for now. I'm wondering why it would ever reach here. Let's comment this out. It doesn't reach there. Okay, because it's not absolute. Let's try relative. That is so stupid. It's not even a file. Start. That takes no parameters. Why is f unknown? F dot start should be a thing. And then let's do res. Kind is directory. What the heck? So open file just opens directories as well. Okay, that changes things. Okay. So then we want to do file is this thing, try, right? And we want is there would be a bool. Deep sigh of desperation. And then we want is there, which will have file dot stat dot kind equals, what was that thing? There. I'm gonna leave this in so that I can get back the, never mind. Okay, it's this thing. Okay. STDFS, I can remove that part. Can we remove that? I think so. So there would be equal to the no is there, right? And is there would also appear here. Now I want to know if if that thing actually works. Like if I do cwd here, let me comment out everything here. Will cwd.open file actually just open file input? This returns file. Comment that out. Constat is try file dot start. We don't even need start. We don't even need to store start. Is there, and we can get rid of this. Will this just work with both relative and absolute paths? If is there, can we do if not is there, and we can do defer file dot close. Let's see if this works. Redeclaration, can get rid of that. We need this to be file. How else are you supposed to do that? Let's see. Start switch stat No, dot kind will always exist. So we want something like this, but will it allow that? Let's do this. It won't allow this again because dot kind is not field accessible. What? That was fine. What if I replace this with build dot zig? It works. What if I replace this with an absolute link? Code slash mkr c. It just works. I did not need to do all that logic. And if I do this, true. Okay. I guess you couldn't do the equal because kind is an enum, so you need to do switch, I guess. Okay, now let's try doing the other thing. Like, let's do 0. And we want type equal to 0. We don't want to do anything else. Or actually, why don't we just do the logic here? And we can get rid of this. And I'll move this here. Do that right away. Remove that. Okay. I don't like that it needs semicolons sometimes and doesn't need it other times. But it is what it is. So if it is a directory, let's see. I guess we can do dir.iterate. But you'll probably need to open it again as a dir. Why is there no variable shadowing? Or is there? I think it is, but there was some places where I think inside an if or a switch, I don't think you can reuse a variable name. Anyway, open dir dot iterate. Can you do const here? And then we can just do I hope entries are just a string. Let's see. Undeclared identifier std out. It needs to be var. Unreachable. Oh, I think this needs to be try. No. Oh, it was not opened with iteration permissions. That's a nice error message. Like, it's just part of the stack trace. There's a comment in the stack trace. Maybe because the comment is in the source. Is it just that? Okay. Open there. Let's see. Open there options. Iterate. I think we need to actually build this struct. Let's see here. Nope. We just needed to do that. That it doesn't like that. There needs to be a dot here. Okay. Their entry is not a string. Entry dot name. Oh, that actually works. That actually works. Okay. Now that we've got it working for both files and directories, we have to do the one last thing, which is to accept a path, from what is it called? I can't remember what it is called all of a sudden. It's called argv. See, does this have any exercises related to arg? No. Nope. This only teaches you syntax, I guess. So let's see using documentation. Why is it always in the errors? I think you'll need to allocate them. Let's just look it up. Okay, so you need to try and allocate that. Why is global allocator in debug though? I'm not sure, but okay. Good enough for me for now. So let's do input is args 0. does this work? OS has no member called argzalok. That is a problem we can fix with the. It's in std.process. Global. There's no such thing as a global allocator. At least not anymore. So let's try testing.allocator. I think that's. No, I'm not sure we should actually be using that. std.mem. Worth a try. That's a type, of course. I actually have no idea what an allocator is. I guess we'll try this. Expected type std.mem.allocator. So do we need to create one? Give me 1 second. Oh, it's really late. I'll wrap up right after we've figured out args. I guess it's something like that needs a self. This page allocator thing. Okay. I'm not sure this is actually going to work or something. Let's see. I'm gonna do 1000. Nope. What do I pass this? Okay, that seems to be working. let's do const allocator. Okay, I can't do this in Zig, but we can do if before we do anything else, let me write input equal to, so that makes it not error. And meanwhile, let's try doing std.debug.print. Let's see what this does. Cannot format slice. And that's out of bounds. SRC is coming from the other thing. Okay, got it. So we want to do const input equals if args not len greater than 1, and we want to say arg0 else that. Will that work? Holy shit. How do I pass options? Okay, that is that did something. Let's do zig build, right? And zig out bin c, and we can do that. Why do that? Input. Oh, don't do that. Just the heck. Oh, wait, we didn't rebuild. What does r.len contain? Oh, this should be args1, but still length is greater than 1 args1, but length is not greater than 1. Length is 1. While length is 1, Weird. Let's try that. Nope. It just ignored that entirely. Still going for args1 instead of else. How do I do this? Oh, wait. This should be input. Okay. That should be fine. Why does it print out garbage though? It doesn't. Not anymore. Wow, it actually works. I'm excited. So let's move Zig out, bin C, or actually copy it to what? The heck is user bin C? Is that a thing? Do I need to rename my thing? Oh, Jesus. How do I find what? C help, or we can do man C. The heck? Okay, I need a new name for my thing. run mail cap. I don't need that. I need a new name for my thing now. I guess look would work. Never mind. What? Run mail crap. I wasn't even going to use look because it's 4 characters, and yeah. So I want something like ls. Show. It's a bit hard to type. Let's see what the synonyms are. The spy. Spy. Also hard to type. Spot. Spot is not hard to type. I kind of don't like it. There's something for everything. Scan doesn't work. View. The fuck? Why is view Vim? Peek is taken by a screenshot too. Peep. Sounds bad. Ogle. I'm gonna ogle at my file system, y'all. But I kind of don't like that either. Let's see. Make ogle. I can't. It's not really like a gawk. Just gawk at your file system. All those beautiful numbers. Okay, so I'm just gonna Gawk won't quit until AI recognizes your mouth wide open. What about Echo, guys? I bet Echo is not taken. Who would use Echo? And then I proceed to wait for 5 seconds while my joke lands on stream. Gaze. Also hard to type, all on left hand, but check 5 characters though. It's easy to type, but 5 characters. I just find something like ls, which is list. What about ck? What about just c? It's like c, but c. I'm gonna call it c. That is the ultimate troll. What? Code. Yeah. Whenever I want to open this, I just do code C. Programs in Zig calls it C. Oh, so why did I do PNPM build? cp zig out bin /c. C, we don't want that. Now we can just okay, I call this a success. Oh, I meant to do. Oh, that works. Epic. All right, I'll call this a success for today. Thanks for sticking through the very long stream. If you come through this later, please leave a like and subscribe. Even if you don't leave a like, right? If you think I'm doing a bad job at Zig, do subscribe so you can follow me when I do actually good stuff in Zig. I have a lot of things I want to do, like other programs like C, bigger programs, better programs, right? So do subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. This is MK here. I'm signing off for tonight. Have a good night. Bye.